Hey everyone, so today's video is probably going to be just a little short. I was going through watching different videos on YouTube and I ran into one by Radiant Britt and I kind of wanted to talk about her video itself and a little bit more about what she was talking about as far as coverage of the Gabby Petito case. If you haven't seen my last video, I talked about the Dad Challenge podcast covering Gabby Petito and how I felt like it was kind of gross, the way he was going about it. And that's basically what her video is about, except for it's about a couple of different people and overall the coverage of Gabby Petito's case and how people are basically being gross about it and profiting off of it and not really doing anything productive or helpful as far as finding, Brian Laundrie or helping there be justice in this case. And I feel like if you watch Emily Baker talk about it, I think she does the best job of explaining why it's not helpful to have so much information and a lot of misinformation going around. And I said this in the last video, and I'll start, I guess, saying it in this one. For Gabby's family, the internet and YouTubers, TikTok people, Instagram, whatever, the internet was a huge help in this case for them as far as finding Gabby's remains, okay? It's been a huge help piecing together a timeline and evidence. And I think in one way it's been so incredible how people came together to help. However, seeing people online just throwing Gabby's name up there, throwing Brian's name in a video title or a live stream, and just speculating on it and talking about it over and over and over and not adding anything. Like, I can't imagine what that's like for the family who, again, needed information from the internet. So they're looking for it. They've watched these videos because some of the information that they've gotten was helpful. So to watch, 30 videos and only one be helpful and all this other stuff being said about just speculating on what happened to their daughter, like, it's terrible. It really is. Now, when I say that, I don't want anybody to get the idea that I don't like true crime. I can't talk today. True crime channels, I love them. I absolutely love Stephanie Harlow. There's a bunch of them, but I think it has a place in the way they do it. It's just different. Let's just put it out there. It's different. They're very respectful. A lot of them will speak with the family if possible. And the way this is being done by other creators is just gross. It's just, let me put this in my title, or let me jump on a live stream and talk about it for 2 hours just to speculate and spread misinformation in a lot of cases and just get it all wrong and for nothing. Just to profit off of it, to gain subscribers, to make money, to get those views. And it's really, really gross to me. So, obviously, I made my video about the Dad Challenge podcast. And of course, I knew there were other people doing the same thing, but I hadn't watched their videos, okay? I hadn't looked at the number of videos they made. I just honestly didn't want to see any more of it. I found a few sources that I could watch and get updated information about the case because, yes, as many other people are, I'm interested. But at that point, I didn't want to see any more of the bullshit. It's what it is. It's bullshit. But I put it on my watch later. Radiant Britt had made a video, and I didn't even know it was related to the Gabby Petito stuff at all. I just seen where she had a bunch of channels names in it, and they were, because two of these I don't know, okay? Natasha Cooper, apparently we don't like her. Apparently nobody likes her. I don't know. I don't know her. I've never watched her channel. And Joseph Morris, I've heard the name, never watched. We don't like him either, apparently. And then, of course, Teaspiracy and Dad Challenge podcast. So, obviously, my thoughts on the coverage of Gabby Petito, if it's not being respectful or helpful. I don't like it. Excuse me. But I want to talk a bit about Radiant Britt's video itself, because it came off a little funny to me, and I want to know, and let me just say this, I have nothing against Radiant Britt. I've made videos, I made a few videos back in the day. It was actually about her and, oh my god, BX Beast Boy. It was about their situation, and I think I said some things that maybe came off as I didn't like her, or I was against her. Anyway, we ended up talking. I felt she was cool with it. I was cool with her. We're good. So I don't want this to seem like I'm attacking her and just coming out of left field and being like, did you see where she did this? It's not even like that. But I think it is interesting how her video was set up. And I felt like, and I could be completely wrong, and I'm not saying that she doesn't feel the same about, you know, that the exploitation of Gabby is disgusting. I believe she definitely feels that way. I could see a lot of us feeling that way. But the way her video was set up almost felt very purposeful, and I just wanted to see if anyone else noticed it, what you guys think about it, because as someone, myself, speaking up against Josh and some of the things he's done and the way he's ran his channel, I took notice of it. So that's what we're here for. Okay. So, as many of you probably know, but if you don't know, I'm going to tell you, Radiant Britt has had a history of really taking Josh's side of things. And I won't say kissing ass or anything like that, but she was definitely, she took up for Josh, and she supported Josh, and she did a lot of similar content to Josh. And I know that's been mentioned in the past that, you know, people say that she's copied Josh. I won't go as far as to say she's copied him, but I will say I've seen him put out a video on one topic, and then Britt does the same video. But it's different. They're different creators, different content, and it happens. I mean, especially when you're in a certain subsection of YouTube, you're going to talk about the same topics. I've definitely went from, you know, only talking about Katie Joy to all of this other mess. So it happens. But she's definitely had his back. She's definitely been a supporter, and she definitely does similar content as Dad Challenge Podcast. So going into this, I will say she mentions Katie Joy, who, if you don't know, Radiant Britt, her channel grew by making a video about why she didn't watch Katie Joy anymore without a crystal ball. So she used to make Katie Joy content, you know, the same as many of us. Well, now she's stepped back and says she does not want to talk about her at all. So in this video, she mentions that Katie Joy is an honorable mention. She has talked about Gabby Petito in the case, but, you know, she doesn't want to talk about Katie Joy at all. So there's that. I do have thoughts and opinions on the people who, I won't say the people who backed off of Katie, because I get it. For a while there, it was a bit much. You know, even as bad as Katie's actions have been, and as terrible as a person as I feel she is, I do see where people were like, okay, this is enough is enough. This is a bit much. But at the same time, Katie never stops, so I don't have a problem talking about her. What I find interesting is the people who backed off and then shamed others for talking about Katie still. I don't appreciate that. You know, you can have your opinion on it, that's fine, but don't shame other people for doing the same thing you were doing just a couple months ago. And it's, you know, if you want to make it about the money, you made money off of it too. So there's that. And for the record, I did not make any money off of that. I just got monetized not too long ago, and I think my last video was the first one I monetized, just to see if it would work. So anyway, but yeah, she mentions Katie Joy, don't want to talk about her. Katie who, we don't care. Let her do all the bad things she wants to do, and we're just not going to talk about it. That's I don't like it. I feel kind of I don't like it. Then she talks about how she's going to talk about these creators from who made the most videos to who made the least videos. That's the key point to this, and that's where I felt like, and I still feel like, this is on purpose. This is purposeful. So she talks about Joseph Morris, who's made, I believe she's like 30 or 40 videos in the last week when she recorded this. And her video, I believe this video is actually from 2 weeks ago. Y'all know I'm always behind on things. Can't help it. So she's like, I just can't imagine, 40 videos. And that's insane. It's disgusting. And that's why I'm making sure I say their names in this. Because that's fucking... And apparently he made a statement that he wanted to get like 1 million subscribers or whatever. Or I don't know how many, but whatever. He got a shit ton, obviously, by covering Gabby's case, which is just, it's sad, it's disturbing, I don't like it. Then she mentions Natasha Cooper, another person I know nothing about. I mean, literally nothing, but apparently she's made like 30 videos. Not cool. I feel like if again, everybody was interested in this case. Everyone felt something about this case. And I think that comes with anytime you see a creator, as a creator yourself, when you see something happen, there's this weird connection that we all have. I don't know, it hits hard. And I think this situation hits home for a lot of people because it was domestic violence. It was seeing them pulled over by the police and how the police handled it. It's very hard to watch. It's very hard to see, and it's devastating because I think everyone felt like the internet came together to try to find this girl, and then how it turned out was just so horrible and heartbreaking. So I understand people wanting to talk about this. I don't down people for wanting to talk about it, but I do feel as though 30, 40 videos, that's a bit much, and I think overall the intent behind it matters. And I talked about that in my dad challenge video because I don't feel like he's up here talking about Gabby to be helpful. I just don't. So she moves on to Teaspiracy, and that's when she starts talking about the live streams a little bit more, just jumping on a live stream to talk about it. Honestly, many of you, if you've watched my channel for any amount of time, I love Teaspiracy. I have not watched any of her coverage. I have not watched any of her live streams, nothing. I have not watched her in a while. Nothing against her, I just haven't. But, so I can't say for sure how bad it was. If it really was the same as what Josh was doing, then no, I don't support that. I don't like that. I mean, it's pretty simple for everyone. I don't like it if you're not adding to the conversation, if you're not trying to be helpful. I think it's best to just not talk about it. One of the reasons why I didn't make a video about because I definitely had thoughts and opinions about the body cam footage, but people already had those same thoughts and opinions, and they're out there 100 times over, so there's no point if it doesn't add to the conversation, why talk about it? Anyway, then she reaches the Dad Challenge podcast, and this is where I was like, I'm making a video. Actually, it was at the end of her video, but we'll get there. So she brings up the fact that she has obviously supported Josh many times in the past, but that she's also criticized him before, and he is not off limits to criticism. And she goes on to talk a little bit about how, he's not a true crime channel. True crime has its place. He doesn't really do that. Yada yada. Basically, I don't support him, going on to talk about the Gabby Petito case. Fair enough, right? That's what she said about everyone so far in the video. However, she makes sure, again, key point here, to make it from who said the most and who made the most videos to the least. She notes that Josh has been getting a lot of comments and a lot of heat for covering this case. And so she's like, but he only made 8 videos. So, compare that to someone who made 40 videos to someone who made 8 videos. See where I'm going with this? It just seems very calculated. I'm going to criticize Josh, but I'm also at the same time going to put him up against someone who's much, much worse, so that maybe people will see it as, oh, well, he only made 8 videos. That's not as bad as 40. Oh, it's so gross to me. It's so gross. I don't like it. I don't like how this was framed. And she really goes on to point out the worst of the worst after talking about Josh. People putting it as fundraiser and where's the money going to, and she even literally goes as far as to say this is blood money, and it was just very over dramatic right there at the end. again, after stating that, I mean, I don't agree with Josh. I don't really like that he's talking about it, but he only made 8 videos. You can't tell me this wasn't intentionally done. So, I mean, and again, I'm sure she felt that way, and maybe she wanted to make a video saying something about it, and she knew she couldn't say it without mentioning Josh, because Josh is covering it. But she definitely framed it in a way to make Josh the least terrible. And to me, someone who has spoken up about Josh, someone who feels strongly about Josh's coverage of the case and his other actions, I don't like that. I don't like it. Do I think these people are better or worse? I don't know. 40 videos, yes, that's fucking horrible. But I still think intention matters, and just because Josh didn't have the chance to put out 40 videos, I mean, the dude is doing 2 to 3 hour live streams. And actually, after watching my last video about him, I went back to where the coroner covered the cause and manner of death. And Josh live streams it as they're announcing it. And his reaction is just sick and twisted to me. I don't like it. I don't like it one fucking bit. He's just sitting there like, oh, strangulation. I mean, but, like, and you can, to me, watching it, I can see the gears turning like, oh, fuck, I got a whole nother week of live streams, let's get ready. You know, like, that's the attitude, that's the feeling that I get. And I hope, like hell, I'm wrong. I don't want anybody to be that disturbing and disgusting. But, just from what I observed from Josh's content, that's what it feels like to me. So to say because someone made 40 videos and he only made 8, that somehow it's not as bad is just, no. I disagree. I strongly fucking disagree. And so when I saw this video and I saw the way it was framed, it just, that's what came to mind. I was like, you know, she really, whether she did the video with the intent of taking up for Josh or making him look less bad, or if her intention was to talk about the issue that people were covering it in this way, but she knew she had to talk about Josh. Either way, to me, it came out, it's just bad. I didn't like it, and it gave me that, feeling, you know, like, I don't know, and I want to know, like, did you watch this video? Do you feel the same way? Like, did it come off that way to you, that she was trying to make Josh look less terrible? Because to me, it did. And again, I want to make it abundantly clear, I don't think it's good for anyone to cover Gabby's case, to talk about her or Brian, if you're not truly doing something to help. If you're not trying to find real information and present that information. If you're not raising money and awareness and really being helpful with good intentions, then no, I don't think you should talk about it. I don't care who you are, what size your channel is, who likes you, who doesn't. I don't give a shit. I'm never gonna, you know, it's just, it's so gross to me. It really is. And then seeing Radiant Britt's video, like I said, I have nothing against her, but it felt very purposely done to make Josh look better. And I don't think that's right. I think it's equally bad for everyone. I don't care how many videos you made. It's the intention behind the videos. One video talking about Gabby in order to gain popularity, gain money, is fucking wrong. That's my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think about any of it. The coverage of Gabby, any one of these people that we talked about, and Radiant Britt's video. If you saw it, let me know, and let me know if you felt the same way or not. If you got a different opinion on it, please leave that down below. Also, I just want to highlight a comment that I got from my last video about Josh that asked if I was the YouTube police on what content he could make, and I would just like to say no, but I liked your comments, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.